So, what's up, guys? This is actually going to be technically now the third episode of No Profile. Or you know what?
Yeah.
All right, check it out, guys. Or hey, what's up, guys? This is actually going to be whatever episode this is. Technically, this is now going to be the fourth episode. We're refilming that third episode, or I guess you could say this is going to be the third episode, but we're refilming that third episode. I didn't like the quality of how it looked and how it sounded, so now it's actually just me and Ali doing the podcast. The last time we did have Erica, it sounded all right, but there was just a couple things that I wasn't happy with, and I know we can make it better. So now this one, I'm probably a little bit more awake. Honestly, on that last podcast, I was freaking tired, and we kind of wrote down what we've decided to talk about and kind of like what our buddies have kind of like wrote up for us. One of the big ones, honestly, for me, like we'll just go straight into it, honestly, is that we've been talking about my probably my favorite topic is to talk about is like music. Like whenever we talk about like I guess you could say for me it's like how many people are actually into like the whole like music scene, or even that people just like listen or go to the shows of like the hardcore scene. Like because me and Ollie used to play in a band, and I mean we weren't like up there, and we weren't like, oh my god, like yeah, we played in front of like hundreds or thousands of people. Like honestly, we probably played with a max of like maybe 100 people in a room, maybe, and we did go on tour, and it was never like like what people made it like made it sound out to be like. But we did go on a couple tours. We played with a couple cool like cool bands. We did play with a couple like higher profile bands, or like higher well-known bands, and that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, just being a part of that scene of music, and being able to see I guess you could say like the broad variety of people that you end up meeting. And then honestly, there's so many people I probably didn't like that were a part of the scene that I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it. There's so many guys that I was like, you're such a like, it sounds like you're such a snake. I know it's weird to say, but I was like, there's so many snakes like in this like scene,
I kind of feel like that we got out like almost at the exact right time.
I think we got out the right time when it came down to us. I don't think like, I think we would have excelled eventually, but I don't think we would have excelled in this like past 5 years with any of these bands coming out.
Yeah, I mean with like how everyone is, like not like that we said anything or did anything on stage that was like outlandish or that would have put us like into like some kind of band category, but we don't change our minds or the way we think, talk, or present ourselves on how we want to be. And like that's what made our, like, to me that's what made our band like as cool and as tight as it was, like besides us being friends from the beginning. But it was just the fact that we all like had like similar views. No one judged each other.
Because all that like BS with like everybody like kind of like whatever was happening in the times, like like the whole BLM thing came out, and I'm not saying any of that stuff is like against the code for us. I'm saying like we don't. I'm not saying that we don't support that stuff, but I'm saying like I support I'm gonna be real with you. I support my black homies. I support my black friends, but in that whole BLM thing, I'm like all these people are just gonna fade off anyways.
Yeah.
Most of these people don't really give a crap, honestly. Like they could give two shits, and it's just gonna fly off anyways. They're not gonna stay within this like whole like, oh, we should go do this, we should go do that. I'm like, yeah, so many of you guys were like, I wouldn't say you guys, but a lot of people that we were like that we knew in the hardcore scene were like posting this and posting that, and they were like, oh, any way to help out the community, like da 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 da, like all cops are bad. I'm like, yo, you guys are saying that, and it's just so funny because it's like not everybody is righteous.
Yeah.
Not everybody. You can't say that all blacks are good. You can't say that all whites are good. You can't say that all Asians are good.
There's bad apples in every batch.
100%. Look at him.
Right here.
How do you think 9/11 planned out?
Hey,
No, but like seriously, it's like that's like me saying like all Arabs are bad. You know,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
that's the stupidest thing in the world. And I don't know, like I said, just like having like all those people that we used to be like, dang, like you know, we were like, I'm still cool with like a lot of the guys that I kept, you know, like realistically that it sounds stupid, but like on Instagram, but
But it's like always at an arm's length now.
oh, 100%.
It's like the people that you used to sit here and rap out with and talk all this like nonsense with, like on tour, like just joking with, like, and they knew how we were and like how we
Oh, 100%.
how we always presented ourselves. We never strayed exactly from how we always wanted to, and it's the same people that we used to hang out with and talk to, tour with, go to shows with, are the people that we don't even talk to anymore, or
Yeah.
like you said, Instagram homies. Like it's like this always now, like everybody.
It's so crazy, and we're not calling anybody out. Like what I'm
Yeah.
just trying to say is that it just comes down to like some of the people that used to say like, "Oh, hey man, good job," like blah blah blah. That's like
They could be your downfall now.
yeah. I was like, what? You're like really about that? That's so surprising.
Yeah.
And honestly, the whole thing with like the music scene, there were so many guys. I feel like, or so many, not so many guys, but so many people that would promote these horrible bands. Like I'm not gonna be the one that to shy away from that. Like if I did not like that band, I thought they were trash,
Oh yeah,
and I didn't give I could give
we'll let you know.
I could give a crap what you thought. Like I was like no, like Firewalker. If you guys ever have the chance, look up these whack ass bands. But Firewalker's up there.
The other one was Crime Watch.
Yeah, Crime Watch.
Oh, what was that one that we like didn't like alive? They were like from Oregon. Remember? She was like, "Oh, you suppressed my people." Remember? She was like,
I so you know what's weird is that I don't remember what that band is called, but I don't like them. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I wish I could ask, like, one of
That's
the
how it
boys.
makes it so easy for me not to like you. If I don't know your band name, I don't even like you. But
when you okay, so this is one point too. Like when getting into hardcore, it was all about like your friends and like being in a safe haven. We'll say like a safe place. Like this is your nirvana. This is where you get away to escape whatever life's BS was thrown at you, or you just didn't like how they say it's always like abandoned misfits or whatever. It's just like how they say if for this song's for like the misfits in the back, this one's for you. Like that, like they're like
yeah,
reaching out
there's
to
like
them.
that general.
Yeah.
I think like understanding that everybody that kind of didn't fit in somewhere.
Yeah, and then, like that's what hardcore was supposed to be. Like I mean, as far as like you could go back like with Terror, like and all of them, like when Scott Vogel talked about it when he started, and he was just like he felt like he was at a place like he didn't know where to go. Like there's this music that he loved, but he didn't know where to go, like to get away from it all. And then he found like hardcore and started doing all that stuff. But then all like what I'm saying now is like what we kind of generalized hardcore as is now just a political view. It's like
Yeah,
what
it's
I'm
not
saying?
even like
It's not
it's
even
not
like-
even like for the feeling of like the music to bond people.
Yeah.
Now it's more of just like how political can I get to get myself somewhere higher in this I guess in this like you're kind of like fighting this battle of like who gets the most like clout
Yeah.
instead of like who actually like cares about more about the music.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And that's the one thing about the bands that were like fighting about it before. It was like a lot of it was about straight edge, a lot of it was like unity, or even just like, I mean, when you listen to Terror, a lot of it's like about like his self doubt, his feeling, what the times that he was going, like the hard times he's going through, even just like himself feeling like a misfit or feeling left out. And
Yeah.
he wrote so much about that. I think that's also what kept us in hardcore was that. When we listened to that music, I was like, "There's something that like resonates that
There's more depth to it than like
Yeah.
people just like hear
just a bunch of screaming."
Yeah,
And that's the one thing I'm like, I hope you guys understand. When we talk about hardcore music, it's not your what is it as Dying Light or whatever it's called, or as I Lay Dying, like
Oh yeah.
like
Okay.
your As I Lay Dying or your what is it
Damn.
what was it? Bring Me the Horizon. Like people call those
Yeah, yeah.
bands hardcore bands and like A Day to Remember, and I get it. There's some type of like, I guess you could say like melodic hardcore or something like that. But we're talking about like for us, I would say, if anything, it was more of like the underground hardcore bands that people really didn't know about. Like I said, like you're showing up to these shows and you're going to like a garage, or sometimes you're going to like, just smaller venues. You're not going to like these like, I guess you could say biggest venue that some of those bands that end up playing are. I mean, one time I saw Terror at like Warped Tour, and I got my lip kicked in.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Like, I mean, like my tooth went through my lip, and Carla took me to the freaking ER to get it stitched up, like an idiot.
Yeah, I remember that happening.
But it's like we're talking about like bands that like don't really see that. Like you pay when you're buying a ticket, you're buying a ticket for maybe like $25, maybe $40 at most. Unless you go to a fest.
But that's like a good lineup too.
Yeah, 100%.
That's like a really good lineup.
Yeah, good lineup as in our time. Mm-hmm. I would say like Dookie lineup now. You got like Vane. I don't like that band. I'm sorry if you like that band. I don't like that band.
A lot of ones that I see a lot is like Foreign Pain, or is it Foreign Hands?
It's Foreign Pain.
Foreign Pain. That, yeah, them. I don't like Momentum. Man, I don't know. There's too many to like, just cross off the list. It's like when someone says like, "Hey, give me some new music to listen to."
Yeah.
If you told me to give me a list of people not to listen to, it's gonna be the same. I can't tell you like right off the bat.
Yeah. See, I would say, what sucks is that I actually do like Momentum. I like that band. I wouldn't say I don't really, I don't like how the guy acts, but to each his own. But I do like the music. What is a band? Oh, and not Inclination is good.
Oh,
like newer good bands that actually are coming out are like Inclination.
And the funny thing is, like they wouldn't exactly, I would say, from the beginning would be considered hardcore, as like I guess you would say the typical hardcore sound. They have like they're very
more
low,
like a weird like melodic. Sometimes like they pull like the. Like weird melodic, like
metalish kind of stuff.
Like metalish stuff.
But they pull it off so good.
Yeah, it's like they're really good. What's like a newer band that kind of came out? Like Knocked Loose is like a
Spirit World.
Oh, Spirit World. Oh yeah, see Spirit World. You know what's weird is that have you ever listened to Spirit World's old stuff?
I did dive a little bit. Yeah. I didn't listen like too much.
Yeah, it's literally punk. I was like, oh, this is punk music.
Because I like whenever I saw it, but like I mean, a lot of people use that same font. I would say. But like I know Kanye West used it before, but like I just saw like when you see a font and it like you're like, oh, I've probably seen this before. That's what I thought when I saw Spirit World. I was just like, oh, definitely have seen this before. But then I heard like Death Western, and I was just like, holy crap, these guys are insanely
good bands
talented.
That are coming out is literally like I would say Spirit World's a really good band. Super like weird cowboyish, but like really good hardcore music. Inclination's a really good band. Knocked Loose is also another good band.
Yeah.
One of the newer bands that came out. Super different, more ignorant for sure. Like very ignorant music when you listen to it, but it's like, man,
just talent, just good, still like good talent.
Yeah, still good music, 100%. I would say it's still decent. Like not necessarily still decent, but still really like something better to listen to than what I hear nowadays. Like these bands that are coming out and they're just. Like See You Space Cowboy, trash. Like I said, Crime Watch when that came out, it was trash.
Yeah.
There was, like Firewalker. There's so many bands now. Like Vane, I don't like that Vane band. I think they're whack. Man, I don't even know. See, the list can go on, but the minute you show me a lineup, that's when I'm like, oh great, yeah, that's why I don't go to these shows anymore.
Yeah, you know what? Like. Yeah. Like you would have to pay, which is obviously like times have changed, like to where it's like a little bit more money. I'm not gonna pay like $40 or $45 to to just drive out there just to see the last one.
Oh, 100%. You know what's funny too is that pretty much everyone in our band used to be the same way. We used to go to the show and we used to support every band that played. But I will tell you this. There were good lineups. There was like Take Offense. It would be like, you would have like for the lineup, it'd be like the Beautiful Ones, some random band, Take Offense, Rotting Out. And then it'd be like, maybe it was Rotting Out that finished like, or was like headlining. Or like Harm's Way. It was something like that. Like really heavy good bands. You know what sucks too is that how many good bands I pretty much like got shaded due to like just I think just like the worst luck. Like Suburban Scum, that one's bad luck.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, so, yeah, Suburban Scum's insane.
Yeah, Suburban Scum was super good. Dude, I love that band. That was probably one of the scariest bands I've ever seen live. That and who was that other band? Man, it was one that dude broke his neck at Sound Fury.
Downpressor.
Downpressor. That band is so nasty.
Yeah, that they're like just like the dude like basically died on like the beginning of like literally the beginning of the whole
first 6 minutes of the show, and someone was like on the floor. What was
paramedics came in with the gurney and everything.
Yeah, the dude had to get pretty much like lifted out of there because he had a broken neck. Like first 6 minutes, craziest.
Yeah,
one of the craziest, coolest Sound and Furies we ever went to.
Yeah, they like literally had to stop the whole show and like literally wait. Like everyone's like kind of clearing the path, like, and just had to wait for this guy to be hauled off.
Yeah, and all they did is at the end of the show they just replayed the same song.
Yeah, they're like hopefully, hopefully condolences to that guy. Like hopefully he feels better. Let's start this over again. And
they literally played their first song again for the last song, and then that was it. And that was their
yeah, because it was like literally like 30 minutes or some shit. We waited for like the ambulance to get there.
Yeah, because I think their set's 30 minutes. So it took almost like 20 minutes for the kid to get gurneyed out.
I was surprised because that was in L.A., right?
Yeah, it was in L.A.
I mean, even with... Yeah,
that's it crazy. Felt like a lifetime because we were waiting for so long. Or maybe... No, because that show ended on time.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
If you were there, yeah, you saw it.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So I think, personally, like around like 2018 is like when we kind of got out. Or no, not 2018.
Well, we stopped playing like end of 2016, beginning of 2017.
Like, yeah, it was pretty much like the end of 17.
Because we came, I think, 2017, the last song, Way to Reality. I think that was when it came out. It was like January. I want to say, I could be wrong, but...
No, you're wrong. Okay. Because I remember when we got back, it was before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was already out. Remember, because Utah, remember the girl was like, oh my God, your new song's so cool. We released it before we went on tour.
Oh, dang. That's crazy. Yeah.
That's the only reason why I remember that, because she said, are you guys playing the new song?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Man,
that's one
crazy
thing I won't forget.
Okay.
You know, also, too, that's the coolest part. When you write this music, and I'm not saying just for me, like someone that writes the lyrics, but it's like someone, like people playing the drums. You see people in the background playing, like, you know, the patterns that Rob makes up.
The air drums.
Yeah, and then you see, like, people making up the pattern that, like, Irvin's playing, or, you know, like, obviously, like, it matters on, like, if there was, like, a bass tone. Oh, yeah, see, like, that song, was it called The Hate?
The Hate.
The Hate, people love that bass tone. Every single time that bass tone came on, or, like, that bass, like, what do you call it, like a solo?
Yeah, it's still considered so, because since I'm, like, technically by myself.
Yeah, by yourself. Like, people, like, go off to that. And that's the cool part. Like, it's like the music that you write, there's more feeling the minute it's yours. And you put your own, like, dedication into writing this music, trying to connect with, you know, people that obviously have the same feelings, or, you know, can resonate with you in some type of way, or you know, I guess relate to you in some type of way.
Yeah.
Come out to your shows, listen to your music. After it, they all congratulate you. And
I think that was always, like, a cool thing, too. Like, just people just in general just, like, coming up. And it was always, like, something super, like... I mean, it could be the smallest compliment, like people coming up saying, like, hey, great set. Or people are just like, hey, I've been listening to you guys, like, since blah, blah, blah. Like, if people don't know, is before Born Guilty was Hounds. But it was, like, people just, like, going to a different state, like, somewhere, like, I mean, maybe it was, like, as far as, like, not, like, somewhere, like, new ventured land, but, like, say, like, a place that we never played.
Yeah.
And then going there and someone, like, you're, like... never met these people, and they're just like say for Out for Justice, but when people are running up and they know the lyrics, that's cool to me. Like that was always
that's
super
like the
cool.
best part, is to see people like that. And then also too, one time when we got the, you know, kind of like the ups by like what was it, First Blood? I think it was First Blood, right?
Yeah, or was I think it was First Blood.
First Blood.
Yeah.
I think they're the ones that the album's California. California.
Yes, that's First Blood.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, that was such a sick set. Like, ups to those guys, blah blah blah.
He's like, why is that?
He's like, why is that guy so freaking angry?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just funny to see. It's like, these like little accomplishments that our band kind of made. And even like when we had somebody buy some merch, and I think he was like from Japan. There was a
Yeah,
couple people like
we had like people buy stuff from Japan, and I think it was like Taiwan or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
I remember it was like,
or like Singapore. Like
Yeah,
there's
I
like
think it was Singapore.
Yeah, well, I think it was all three of those though.
Yeah.
Because I remember like us getting tagged in like some of those. Like the guy like had like little figurines or like little anime like dolls or something like around the. It was like the fireman's badge shirt.
Oh, our fireman shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and that's the realistic form about it, is that we have somebody that's a cop that used to play in our band. So we support Blue Line.
Yeah.
And then
All
we
day.
got, obviously
firefighter.
we had two firefighters that used to play in our band because before it was,
Josh.
before it was, like a couple of the bass players we had. I think that was the most swapped out, obviously, instrument in our band was bass players. We couldn't find a solid bass player to stay around. But obviously it's because, Josh had, he became a firefighter, and I think at his peak of becoming a firefighter, that's when he was, it was like all in or nothing, so he kind of had to give up one or the other. And I was like,
Yeah,
you know what?
100%.
Like, better life decision for you. There's no point for you to ruin your life just because.
We know for sure, like, unless like you're obviously like a big name like in hardcore, like, yeah, you're not making much money.
Oh, 100%.
Like all our money was coming from merch.
And it was literally our money getting just dropped into it. Like
Yeah.
we would drop in, I think, what was it, like $20
We
a
would,
week,
like,
or $20
yeah, so-
like every 2 weeks.
It was $20 every week. So like then there's 5 of us, so it was $100 a week, and then we would just remember like it was, but the yeah. So and we would like obviously do maybe like if that at 2 tours a year. So we'll say like summer, winter. So I mean, think about it. You got 6 months basically. We'll say to accumulate that. I'm not good at math like that. So, but like think about it. Before we would go on tour, we'd hit up Wolf Bailey. Shout out to him for making all of our merch and stuff. But he would give us like all our shirts. Even like if we give him a day notice, this dude would just do it. He was in a band too. Was it Gravedigger or something? It was a super dope band. It was a super dope
I have no
old
idea.
like hard. That's why he like does so many hardcore bands. But anyways, like we would get like that merch, like, and we would have like so much money still left over to where it was we would put in our half for the van, for gas, and then we would
Like
just,
the Airbnbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of that money just came out of pocket. So
Yeah.
if you're
And
if
so-
you're looking in for something in hardcore, you really got
gotta
you
be-
might as well have a female singer.
Yeah. 100%. You got to be a female, transgender, goofy looking haircut, half boy, half wolf.
Yeah, enhance your pronouns, like, or like
yeah.
you got to really.
You know what?
Dig
That's
into
also
that.
the stupidest thing. We don't do that he him BS.
That's a no-no.
I personally don't think that's like when people started. I noticed that when people started like providing their pronouns on their Instagram, I was instantly like, oh my god, you're so whack, dude.
Yeah. I
Get out of here. Like, go take that somewhere else.
dude, yeah, I can't. I like the moment and then the funny thing is like if this was so part of your life to begin with, then it should have been something you would addressed when I first met you.
Oh, 100%.
Don't come
Oh,
swinging
yeah,
at
hey.
me with what you want to hear just because you see some movement of whatever it is. It could be like a woman empowered movement, a man's. I mean, honestly, you think about it. That what men powered movement do we have? None. I can't think of anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you can say anything, but there's so many women movements or like women based or like ran ones that. This is where I like honestly, like I'm not saying all women are the problem because not all women think alike, but every time I see something that is started, it's always by a woman. I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
Most of the time, I mean, in our society, in our society nowadays, it's so common for men not to have a standard, but women can have like whatever they want to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
like I'm like, and it's like I said, it's not all women. I'll say there's good, or like not good, bad, but I'll say there's some that I do know personally, and like half and half. one are either like the ones I'm like, I can talk about whatever I want, say whatever I want, and that's cool with me. The other half is like the ones I just kind of keep like, again, at arm's length. I'm like, I can't talk to you about anything. I can't say anything because the moment that, like, say if I say something that they take out of context, oh, you're probably like a Trump supporter, or you're probably like, you like Andrew Tate, don't you? It's just like, you label me with something because of something that you took out of place of what I'm trying to say.
It's also because you're a man.
Yeah, yeah, and then like you're just a guy.
There could be anything. Like, it doesn't have to be anything that actually, like I said, like, relates to you. It's just because you're. I guess the way that it does relate to you is that you're another man.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what it is, because nowadays it's so quick for people to say, "Oh, yeah, that's like what a typical every man's like that." I think that's the most I'm going to say it, that's the most bullshit,
that's a cop out.
fucked up thing that people can say. When people say all dads are alike, all dads are this, all, men are this.
Yeah,
I think that is such BS to say that I think some women think like that. I'm not going to say all women, like I said, not everyone's the same. There's some women that actually genuinely think that some men have good hearts.
Yeah.
Or, that some men actually take their job, like, do their duties right, or, take responsibility of this and that. That's what I like. But I think in society nowadays, it's so common for you to see so many chicks just bashing on dudes. And it's so I guess you could say it's so accepted.
yeah,
Like, we have no say in there, because most of the times when we do say anything like that, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. You're just male. What is it called? Masculine or toxic masculinity.
yeah.
I'm like, what? Then you're feminist or you're
Like a
feminist toxicity, or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, we'll say feminine toxicity or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's whatever word. It's just, yeah, they're just, like you're saying, they're just categorized as, like, when you clump women into the same category, they'll fight it to the teeth and nail.
Oh, 100%.
They'll try to cross
I'm not like every other, woman.
You
I'm
know
not
what they
like every
say?
other bitch.
They're
I hate that.
I was about to say that. I was going to say, yeah, they're like, oh, you comparing me to every other bitch, this, that, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, no, I'm comparing you to what you are. I'm saying you, as your own, are this and that. But I can turn around and say this person is a different, complete, like, hey, you see this, you see that, you see this, you see that. But the thing is, if you once the moment that you categorize them all together, that's when they want to fight.
Oh, 100%. That's when they're like, oh, no, I'm my own self.
Yeah.
I'm my own dude.
But then you can. But then the moment that, like, you argue against that, they're like, you're every other guy. You're like every other guy. You're gonna fucking fight me against this. Or, sorry, I didn't. I could just cuss. But yeah, it's just like they'll again. They start fighting
shut
with
up,
you
you
again.
Just cheat. You just do this. No, that's what every typical man does.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, be a guy, be a man.
What's
swallow
so
your
funny
pride.
too is that when you actually look at, I'm going to be realistic with you, when most of the chicks that do say that kind of stuff, you look at their track record of the guys that they tend to date, and I'm like, oh, well, that's why.
Oh yeah.
You tend to look at, like, these like your typicals, like your F boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, these dudes that you already knew were douches, and you let that play out. And let's be realistic. I'm not perfect. Ollie's not perfect. None of us are perfect. Nobody.
And we're okay with that. Just so you know that.
I 100% think nobody's perfect. I think everybody has something to work on. It just matters on how you tend to work on it, and how you actually tend to grow from, like, certain situations that you made mistakes off of. You want to keep making a mistake, keep making that mistake. Now that's really going to show your true colors, And I think that's what should define, define, like, those guys that you tend to pick up on. You should really take a step back and be like, you know what? I guess he's right. Like, I tend to go for these guys that just suck butt. Like, they do nothing but give me a headache.
But you know what? It's because the signals and their whatever they're putting out is what they get. It's just like, I don't know, Ariel. Like, it's just frustrating.
It's just like I said. It's like those things that women try to say, or certain women try to say, like, oh, I don't need a man. Yet most of the roads that you drive on are man-made, and most of the jobs that you don't want to do are done by men. When you call a plumber, I'm pretty sure you don't get a woman. Okay, the guys that build the building, like people that build your buildings, those are men. People that build your cars, most of the times those are men. Women are starting to get into those industries, but we're not saying that they're not, that women aren't doing their part. We're just saying it's predominantly men.
Yeah, it's like a
You know,
very small percentage.
all the jobs that nobody wants to do, and let's be realistic. I don't like doing construction work. I think it sucks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, I can't be that dude that wakes up. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could
The
if I
butt
really
crack
wanted
of dawn, drive probably
But-
like an hour and a half, 2
Yeah.
hours. That's probably even without traffic, just to go, dig into some blacktop, dig some trenches, get some blisters on your hands. Like
Yeah, and that's the thing. Every dude is for sure built different when it comes down to that. Like the homie Bobby, like Bobby, you know.
Oh yeah.
Bobby does construction, and when Bobby, like let's be realistic, when you go and put into jujitsu terms, but when Bobby grabs you, and my boy grabs me, I feel like I'm getting groped by a freaking 50-year-old dude with his hands. Because I'm like, yo, you're about to it feels like when you were 6 years old and your dad said, "Come here," and he'd grab your wrist and then just drag you around the house, and you're like,
like
"All right,
you're
what's
like
going
I
on?"
can't get away. Like as much as you try to
Oh,
pull.
100%. And it's
That's
so
so funny.
scary. That's what I'm like, yo, PTSD is real. No,
like,
but
let go of me, Rod.
yeah, in my eyes, I'm like, yo, that's so crazy. He gives you this you just know it's a different type of strength.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah, and it's always that's super funny.
All those dudes that do that, shout out to that kind of stuff, because those are I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I just don't prefer doing that kind of work. Not saying that I have to not do it, but I mean, there's stuff that I have to do around the house.
And you know what? It's back to that respect to Bobby, because I know, as much as he works, obviously doing construction full time, that guy still finds the energy to go to jujitsu, afterwards,
and still take care of his kids.
yeah, and
Yeah.
his kids, making sure that
Single father, takes care of his kids.
he's sitting there building them their house and everything. I believe.
No.
Or is that someone
He's
else?
building an Airbnb to supply himself more money.
Oh,
so more
okay.
passive income.
Makes sense now. Okay, I always see him
Literally, so he can spend more time with his kids.
No, that's perfect, dude. The dude's such a good guy. It's insane.
Yeah, but all men are alike.
yeah, we
Just
all
remember
suck,
that.
guys.
Yeah.
because we wouldn't do anything for anybody.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, okay, right on. Yeah, we would never just, and that's why, also too. This is probably one of the most hurtful things people can say when. Let's be realistic. When certain women say men ain't shit. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now let me put this into perspective, Ollie. Okay. You have a son with this woman. You have another woman, her friend, blah blah blah, says, "Hey, men aren't shit."
Yeah.
This is all going to get bleeped out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no.
No, you're good.
But okay. Now, let's go back to this. Your lady is like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Doesn't say anything, kind of doesn't boast it up, but doesn't sit there and disagree.
Mhm.
Now, the part that hurts is that, think about it like this. Most of the times, men only get love from
Their mom.
three places. I would say the most true love you'll ever get
Yeah.
is your mother.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The next one I'm going to say is your significant other, if you can find a true significant other. Okay, so that's two. The other one I'm going to say is by your kids.
Yes.
Okay, now, since that's all in perspective, now when someone says that to you, and then you finally think about it, and I say, you know what's crazy? When you have nothing to say, yet someone says, "Men ain't shit," and then they go back and you try to explain to them, hey, you know what's crazy is you had nothing to say for that. Why don't you back me up? I'm a man. I'm your man, actually, to be realistic.
Yeah.
And you have nothing to say. Okay, now let's put it this way. If I had a son with this woman,
Mhm.
and she said men aren't shit, guess what you just said? You just said that little boy doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
He's going to be another number in line. He's just here for the reproduction, but he doesn't really mean much.
Yeah. He's just.
How much does that hurt that kid?
I mean, yeah, at that point, just obviously, I would say, kids are sponges. We all know that.
Yeah.
So he maybe he doesn't know the repercussions
long
of
term,
the repercussions of it in the long term, but it's like he definitely that
Now
will
think about
definitely pan out.
if someone said it to your think about it. You have a son, and someone said men ain't shit, but then you look at your son and you say, "What? What do you mean? I want my son to grow up like that." If someone said that about you to your dad would flip out.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
if your mom straight up said men ain't shit, your dad would be like, "Okay, women ain't shit." Well, like women ain't shit. You need me just as much as I need you.
Probably and I mean, given like different circumstances, like, this is me just saying different circumstances. If that, like, I honestly, damn, I don't want to say it. My dad doesn't need literally anybody. Like he doesn't need anybody.
That's crazy.
Like, I mean, except the only thing in his life right now, like, I mean, besides my mom, of course, like, they're still married. But if my mom were to say that, my dad would be like, okay, cool, I got my son, I'm fine. Like, you ain't shit to me either.
Yeah.
Like, bye. What are you gonna do now? Because he's the bread maker. Like, what are you gonna do now?
And that's
what I was saying.
okay. And you know what I'm trying to say is that it's so common for women to say that, like, "Oh, man, I don't need you in my life."
Every day.
And I'm like, okay, you know, like I said, and then it comes back to like when you know, like you replay it in your head. I'm like, you don't realize how messed up that is. Like when you actually say it, and then you think about it, you look at like a little boy that's growing up, and he eventually tells himself, "Well, I'm not gonna mean anything to anybody anyways. Like, what's the point?"
And that's when they become a F boy.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially in this society too.
But also too, you can make the choice to not be that and still be, you know, kind-hearted, but still society sees you as something wrong.
Yeah.
Sees you as a bad person because you generalize as, you know, no matter what, you can't change that. You know, I could change the way I look on the outside, you know, like these posers, transgenders. I don't care, I'm going to say it. But like no matter what, being a man in this type of society in this day and age is just, for sure, it's a lot more stressful. I think for even guys in the dating world. Like I mean, I'm not dating whatsoever, but it's just like, I mean, Ollie's dating, but it's like you get this.
I honestly, sorry, finish yours and all.
But like, you know, you just get that notion. It's like it's harder in this day and age to even get further, just because you're a creeper.
Yeah,
you're this. You're an F boy. You're everything. It doesn't matter. You're anything that is not right for a woman.
Yeah,
besides a bread maker, and you have to be making like 500K. Ollie, good job.
Yeah. It's like good luck on that one. Like, so when now, like, when you see even girls talk about like what they want in a guy, it's always like the same thing. They always got to be like super good looking. They have to make a certain amount of money. They have to drive. They have to have a good car,
they can look like
good
whatever.
house. But yeah, they can look like whatever,
Like
as long as all. I mean, actually, you know what? We'll take away the good looking, but they wish that. We'll say that. That's one of the three. One missing out of the four.
Yeah,
that
but
they
you can't
want.
be fat.
That's true. We'll say 5 then. We'll say 3 out of the 5.
Yeah, but you can't be fat or ugly, no matter what. And then that's how they pretty much rate.
But that's how girls.
Oh, and you can't be short. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Oh, you know that's fair.
That's
100%.
very fair. I mean, me and Ariel are short
Short
as hell.
king, baby.
Yeah, we're short as hell. But like, I guarantee, if we were making like a crazy amount of money, man,
the tallest chick wouldn't even care.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's very true.
She could be like 6'4" basketball player.
But like, you can't do any of that stuff, or like you like that's what the norm is. I feel like the normal now.
Yeah.
Like, so
it's for sure just the bash. Like, it's getting bashed in this type of like I said in this.
But like growing up, like, think about it, like maybe like even from your perspective, my perspective as well. Like growing up, my mom stayed home most of the time, and I mean still until this day she does. I don't know if your mom did, because I know your dad.
She was working.
Oh, okay, because I know your dad was in the military and everything, and all that.
No, they both worked pretty equally.
So most of the time, like I think my dad kind of grew up more like on that feel, like where the woman, you can stay home if you want, just take care of the kids. Even though I'm my dad's only son, he still took care of my older brother and sister, not his kids. But it was just like that. That's his mentality. It was just like, I'm gonna do what I have to do to take care of my family. Like, we're to a point where at one time he was working 3 jobs.
Yeah, he's like every other man.
Yeah, he slept on a park bench.
Oh, he's like every other man.
Yeah, every hardworking man. But it's just like now, like growing up, seeing that, like getting the work ethic from him, like seeing like, oh, this is you have to do everything to provide for your family, and I'll do that. I'll do that. God willing, like if I had a kid or whatever, I had a significant other and like we live together, I'll try to do whatever I can. If we're gonna bring both incomes, cool. But if not, I'll try to do what I can to make ends meet and do what I gotta do. But now, like honestly, like I think everything's like so messed up to where like I don't even like the thought of dating anymore. I hate thinking of being with someone that I know for sure is just gonna only like show me what I want to see in the beginning because it's like the honeymoon phase, and then it all boils down to just like the most pointless, maybe probably like some kind of argument or something, and then it's just like, damn, you just wasted 5 months, 6 months, maybe a year of my time just for you to show me your true colors of like you wanting nothing but to be a prize piece on a pedestal or on a mantle.
Like more, it's like you don't like. It's more of like a deserving, like like an award. Like it's like I'm your trophy. Like I'm with you because, like you're like, supposed to be making more than me. Like that's the only reason why I'm with you.
Yeah, you're supposed to be making more.
Here. That's why I'm gonna be. You know what's crazy too is like, for the women that do understand, thank God for you. For like
who want to keep working, who want to make money.
My fiance and like really good women. Like there's still good women out there, 100%.
There's only three. Is it only three? Actually, two. There's only two. There's only two couples. Like nothing against other homies and all that stuff. But as far as like girlfriends, fiancés, wives, whatever that I've seen, that I always like compare because I see even just like my friendship with them, and I'm like, and I see how they are with their significant other, which is my homies, is always Carla and Megan.
Oh, Megan.
I'm just like,
Megan's,
like, dude, perfect. I'm like, if I could find anything remotely close to like what they have, like, which is going to be very far fetched now because she's with Dustin. As far as like, she's been with him since growing up. There's high school sweethearts and everything. Like, she grew up in the same era. She accepts like the way all of us talk, the way we all do anything. Yeah. And she's all for advocating like, oh, you know what? Go, Dustin, go out. Go have fun with your boys. I'm taking care of the girls tonight. Yada, yada, so forth. She's like, she knows that, like, and I mean, like, look at her. She's a breadwinner herself, too.
100% RN.
Yeah. And they're both.
I think she was an MRN, so a manager.
Yeah, she does.
For a while, she was the manager.
Yeah, she did like for like cancer patients and stuff in like Torrance for a long time, and now she runs the whole like Marietta district or something like.
Oh no! Now she's a school nurse.
Yeah.
Now she's a school nurse.
Yeah,
but before when she had kids, she was an MRN.
Yeah. And
I think when she still had, I think she was still pregnant with. She was pregnant with with Isabella. She was. Oh no! It was.
No, it was I think she became that after a while after Izzy was born, but I think this was like the switch she needed to make so that she could be closer to home. Yeah.
Which makes sense. That's good.
Yeah.
See, but like that's what I'm saying. It's like you find those dime a dozens.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It's like the women that truly care for their men and like actually are willing to grow with even just how sometimes simplistic men can be. Like I said, like sometimes we could live without, the dumbest stuff in the world. Like I could live with, my mats in the garage and, like one or two couches or, things like that. But I think in a really balanced relationship, like you try to advocate for both sides. Like no matter what, I'm going to see things from Carla's side. If she wants something or if she needs me to do something, I'm going to step up and do it.
Yeah.
And if she ever needs, if I ever need something and I ask her to step up and do it, that's one thing that I think has been so genuine about her is that we've always made a good connection to know how to. I mean, we get on each other's nerves. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, you just saw like Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it's like, those little battles. Sometimes I'm okay with losing them because that's okay. Like I can apologize from that situation because I don't want it to hinder our relationship.
Yeah,
and I know it's not worth it anyways.
Those little things can build up. That's what
100%. And that's where I'm like, for me, it's like you find a partner that eventually just understands you and is willing to work with you. Like I was never going to be her perfect pick, and she was technically never going to be my perfect pick.
Yeah.
You know, and somehow we just made it work, and it was to the point where it was like I end up falling in love with her because eventually she became that person that molded into like what I would say is that perfection of what I wanted.
Yeah, it was
You know?
like it's kind of like saying expect the unexpected.
Yeah, and as sad as it is, she ended up molding me into more of like the man I was gonna end up being, which is nice to know. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty irresponsible. I didn't want to do this. Wasn't like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. You know, but she changed a lot of the way that I looked, or like like my outlook on what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say like like I said, I'm not gonna say I'm perfect and stuff like that. Like I still make a lot of mistakes, and but she still looks past them, and she's still like there, willing to work on the issues that I have, or the mistakes that I made, and even like I said, like sometimes when I deal with my certain issues, she's still there by my side, pushing me to get better.
Like, hey, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
push on.
And I think that's
it.
one thing too, is that in a high stressful situation, we've always just been like, you know what, like it's all gonna calm down. Like,
yeah,
don't worry. Even though I know we're in a bad position, like everything will calm down. And she's always kind of held that down, and I've always kind of held that down for her.
And she has to be like probably like, not even joking, probably the most the patient person.
Yeah, she's super patient.
And
which is sometimes annoying because she's too patient.
Yes, I was about to
with
say
the dog's crying.
Yeah, the dog's crying.
Blow my brains out.
Like I'm like, how do you like? I know you hear Ernie putting his nose under the crack of the door and
to
whimpering.
Cry.
Yeah, and to whimper. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and like and it'll just go on until like I think she waits for me to get to my boiling point to where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll open the door and I'll scream, and I gotta close the gate or something, and I'm just like, I'm about to.
Yeah, I don't know how she
Someone's got to go.
she does do it though. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? How do you not hear that?
Oh, she does. I asked her. I asked her. I was just like, can you really not hear that in there? And she goes, oh, I do. And I'm like, how do you not flip
not saying
out?
I would never shoot my dog, but man, sometimes Ernest just blows my brains. Like I'm like, yo, shut up, dude.
He like so. Ernie is there? He's a basset hound, right?
Okay. So he's supposed to be basset hound. He's supposed to be full basset hound. He's way too tall.
Yeah.
He's for sure not full basset hound.
Yeah, he's like.
If anything, he's like the opposite of a runt, and he's like this tall basset hound, super athletic, is like able to jump over stuff, is able to swim, like all these things that you don't want a basset hound to do.
Yeah, but he's just got the ears is like
super energetic.
Yeah.
He's a good dog and he's smart, but he's 50% dumb, 50% smart.
Yeah, and I feel like he uses his smart whatever like
to pretend like he's dumb.
His intellectual side, he uses it to pretend he's dumb, like thinking like
he's like, oh, sorry.
He'll do something like where I'm like, how the hell did you do that? And then he'll act dumb about it.
Yeah, I think that's what like really gets on my nerves.
Yes, I swear that dog, man.
But
I'll take him out.
Man, you know what's funny too is let's kind of go back onto like the whole hardcore scene. Is there's so many guys in that hardcore scene that eventually became like women, like wearing dresses to shows, and
then they're like wearing
makeup,
mesh crop tops, painting their nails.
Yeah, dude, that was the worst,
dude.
Dudes wearing crop tops at shows are so weak.
And you know what's funny? So they probably made fun of goth people at some point.
Let's put it this way. Now, when Justice Tripp wore that football looking crop top, it's totally fine.
Oh, I mean, because that was normal back like in the 80s and stuff.
But it was
like
more
70s, 80s.
It was more of like I said, it was more like a sports thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's like the dude that showed up with black nails, makeup,
yeah,
a crop top, and then wearing like a dress.
If you were like some in shape dude, wearing a crop top that had like some football team on it, I'd be all for it. But no painted nails, obviously. But like you were just juiced to the gills, I'd be totally fine with it because you know what? Guarantee you saw any of your favorite football player. I mean, just depending on how long you followed it, but you still even now, like you'll like see like, I mean, I screw the Cowboys right now, but you see like Ezekiel Elliott still wearing those crop tops. But even back in the day, you'd see like Deion Sanders. Man, Primetime was the best one to like as far as like wearing those, but like probably Barry Sanders. On the list will go on, but those dudes wore a crop top, but they had like 6 packs, juice to the gills,
But
wearing
they're
a
also
dope
just
ass
in super good
bandana.
shape,
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I'm saying.
And
But like when
now-
you get it's like
you
some
know what's
scrawny
crazy
dude,
is that nowadays
and it's a white tee. It's just a
you
regular
have to,
white
you,
crop.
you have to be like a fat dude with no masculinity, and you'll be recognized like crazy.
Oh, they'd be like, I don't even want to say
Just
it.
say it.
Because you
It's
know
my
what
favorite part.
You
I
know what
don't
I hate
even
is you know what I hate is when like you see something that you know shouldn't being done. Like say that for instance, like some hefty dude in a crop top, painted nails and whatever, and like posts
I
about
mean, he's
it.
like getting praised for it.
Yeah, he's getting praised for it, and like everyone's like, "Yas." I'm like, that's what I hate. I hate hearing that "yas" thing, or like even just you know what's funny is because
It's
even
the get it queen, or like you go sis.
yes, slay queen. Oh, I
I
hate.
hate the biggest thing is that when there's so many busters that are like doing this whole like movement, like, oh, I'm gonna paint my nails and I'm gonna freaking fart in a jar and sniff it later. Like, yeah, you do that. I hope you get sick and die.
Dude,
You stupid idiot.
I honestly don't know where like any of that came from because, I mean, oh man, you know what? It's like to me, these kids like dressing like that, being like that is like the new neo Nazis of like hardcore. Like
Yeah,
it's just
you
like
know
you're
what?
not like to me. It's like it shouldn't be welcome.
So many dudes get praised for looking so feminine. Like, like they're like, oh, get in touch with your feminine side. I'm like, no. I mean, let's be realistic. I'm in touch.
You know,
with
go ahead, cry
whatever
at
my side is.
cry at a good movie. You know, like a good sad movie
Yeah.
where like it has a
But
good
you
moral
don't gotta
story
cry
to
to be
it.
like, oh, you know what? Give me praise.
Yeah, don't cry on social media. Saying,
Yeah,
like I
don't
went
do
to a
that.
show and I got punched in the face.
Oh, that's the
And
worst.
They're in the front.
I hate
they're
how
in
people can't take a hit anymore.
Oh my god, they're like right in the outer rim of like the mosh pit. They'll get punched and then they'll say that it was like gay bashing. And it's like, no one's looking at you when they're swinging, and plus it's always dark.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that there's so many people at shows that literally can't take a hit. But you go back and you watch all these shows back in like 2002, even like go back to the 90s. You go back to like the 90s, the 2000s, and the early 2010s or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, easily.
Prior to 2015, you were going to shows and I was getting my ass kicked. Like, I'm getting my ass kicked. Like, up and down the floor. And you know what I did about it? I'd go back in the pit or the dance floor or whatever, and I would just do my thing. I'd swing on people the same way, this and this and that. And it doesn't matter. I think to me it did not matter. I didn't care if I got hit. It was a part of the culture and the music that I was listening to.
All you would do is say, you go up to your friend, say, "Am I bleeding?" "No." Back out.
Even at that, if I was bleeding, I was like, "Oh, I got hit," and I was like this, and you wipe it off and you patch it up and you just go back to watching the show. And you know what's funny is that most of those guys that end up hitting you go, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?"
Yeah. I was gonna say. Yeah,
And
I was
it's
gonna
so
say
funny,
that.
but now everybody is so quick to be like, I freaking hit that guy. I'm gonna kill his head. Oh my god, that's Joker. No, but they were just so whack. Like so many dudes nowadays, like they get hit and then they start fights and they join gangs.
Yeah,
and
right.
they get beat up by like 5 dudes. That
Yeah, they
actually
have, like, a group
that
of
actually
10 or
is
11.
crazy, is because it became 5 guys not knowing that you were in the wrong town where we get the most support,
Yeah.
which is our hometown, and you ended up having to fight the whole venue. You're an idiot.
It's such
That we didn't ask. I didn't ask
yeah.
the venue. Hey, everybody, jump in, help me beat these people up. Are you guys with me?
Like, it's funny because I'm looking at the word on the screen. Is a community.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, like, so basically we'll kind of go into this. I think this was like during winter. This was like a Christmas show, like almost.
It literally was
yeah,
a Christmas show.
Yeah,
that's literally what it was for. It was Mosh for Santa.
Was it?
Swear.
Oh man, I didn't because I know the flyer. I remember seeing like the snowman on it.
Yeah,
and I was like, and so there was like this band that it was us, Frustrated. I remember it was like Modern Color and like maybe some other bands.
There's a couple bands. There's like five of us in the lineup. We're headlining, but the band before us was a really good friend of our. It was a really good friend of our, or really good.
We'll just say. I mean, I never.
They
really
were
liked
good friends
them.
of ours. Okay, well they were good friends of the band.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we play the show. Everything's cool. I guess the band before. Oh well, not the band before. The band actually, yeah, the band before us that was playing. Their bass player.
It was frustrated. It was frustrated.
Their bass player at the time ended up joining. I think was it bass player or was it? Oh yeah, it was their bass player. Yeah, technically he was the bass player.
Was he? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
You're right. You're right. Bass player. He ended up joining a crew, and I mean I didn't know, and it's not like it's not like us for it to know us.
Be like,
for us to know that
you guys come with a crew,
but. This crew comes up, and I mean we've never seen them, and it's not like I'm trying to fight anybody.
Here, let me just quickly paint the picture because since I was on the outskirts, I was like in the front of the pit, and I was watching you.
Yeah.
So they're playing, Ariel's moshing.
Our friend's band is playing.
Yeah, our friend. He's playing in his band, Frustrated at the time. What are they called now?
Mine.
That's what they're called now. But so they're playing. The bassist Ryan, and Rudy, and then there's Gino, whatever. But so they're playing, and Ariel's moshing. I'm in the front too, and like I said, when Ariel just dances, he just swings where he just goes swing. He was even hitting me, and
when I go out for a band, if you're anywhere in the sidelines, you're a target.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are.
And I'm not trying to target people. Like I'm not gonna specifically try to hit somebody, but just know if you're on the outskirts. And guess what? This is like, what's that game? Like where you got the little balls and you touch the balls and the balls blow up. I don't know. That actually has nothing to do with it. But if you're anywhere on the outskirts of like where you could potentially get hit, you're probably gonna get hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm either going to kick you or I'm either going to swing on you, but one of the two is going to happen, or I'm going to jump into you guys.
I'm going to say it's like 80% of the time you're going to get touched somewhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be.
You might not even get touched by me.
Yeah.
Because most of the times I always used to get like this close, but like if it was ever a roundhouse or like one of those, like the those like swing back kicks, those were destined to hit somebody. That's the only time I'd actually.
And it's not just one person. It's like 4 people at a time.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the whole. Whole side of the leg, like literally, just like the whole leg. So it's like, I mean, Ariel and I are short, like I said, but it's like if Ariel's kicking you, boom, it's like 3 or 4 people. It doesn't matter. But so I'm saying, like I said, Ariel, even though Ariel knows I'm there, but he's like I said, he's not paying attention. He doesn't care. Like he's hitting me, he's hitting everyone around me. No one's saying anything. He goes to the other side, which is actually the side where the bassist was, the one who rolled with these dudes, but we don't know. He goes over there, he backswings, and he hits this dude straight, like I would say, like on the eye socket and the cheekbones.
It's called crowd bashing.
Yeah, and the dude. I watched the dude, and he goes behind his homies, and I swear to God, I think he went back there and cried. And then he comes back to the front, like, and you could see that, like, I'm looking at him, I could see the look on his face, like he just had like that revenge look. And
well, no, he started. I remember he started walking side to side trying to hit me.
Well, he was doing whatever he was doing, and you're still moshing, and then you didn't. The next time you went through, you didn't swing. You did a back jump, and you just like
I just jumped up.
Yeah, he just jumped up. And they pushed him, and then the same dude that Ariel back swung on and hit, the one that was crying like a little girl, I saw him and he tried to spit on Ariel, but it was too late. That he missed.
Yeah, I would have ate that spit up.
Just catch it in your mouth.
I was spit it back at him.
Dude, he's a
Loser.
he spits and he misses Ariel, and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna tell Ariel right away because I know Ariel. So I was just like, let me just do this calmly and like in a manner to where like things just don't go crazy. And as I'm trying to walk towards him, I think it was Rudy.
The band ends.
Yeah, the band's done, and I'm trying to walk up to go to this dude, and everyone, like I said, in that area knows, like, as us was born guilty. They come up to him and they're like, "Hey, what are you gonna play tonight? What are you gonna play tonight?" I'm like, "Give me a second, dude. Give me 1 second."
Well, no, that's when I get confronted. Yeah, and I was talking to Dustin.
That's it. Like literally happened to blink and light. I was trying to go talk to that dude. Just be like, "Hey, I saw what you did. I'm not gonna tell him, but watch yourself, dude."
Yeah,
like because either way, you're gonna beat his ass, or I could have just beat his ass right there.
Yeah,
and I was just like, hey,
that dude's stupid.
It's gonna go sour. Like I was gonna be nice about it, but someone stopped me. Like I said, they were talking. I was like, "Hey, what's the playlist?" But I was just like, "Dude, give me a second." And even before that, I could even finish that.
In the matter of a second,
turned around.
Literally, I get approached by like this, like the crew. There's like 10 of them, and these guys come up to me, and the guy's like, "Hey, man, why don't you watch where you're swinging?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean? Like, watch where I'm swinging?" And the dude's like, "Yo, watch where like next time, watch where you're swinging at." And I'm like, "Bro, you're at a hardcore show. What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, hey, we're at the old typical we're at a hardcore show thing." And this guy's doing that, and he's trying to boast up his little like gang members. And he's like, "Hey, you hear this? Like the guy said we're at a hardcore show." And I remember I was standing there, and I'm like, "Okay, like what is this dude's deal?" And then me and Dustin are just kind of sitting there, and then all of a sudden I see like Rob standing there next to us, and I see Irvin next to us, and obviously like kind of like hits the fan, and I was like, "What the?" And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Dustin comes out of like
behind you. He was behind you because
Dustin's like right here,
and I'm standing right here. Like this is like literally you're right here to my right. The dude was right here. His homie's right there. Dustin's like right here.
Yeah,
I literally I'm not even kidding. I blinked again. I blinked. And all of a sudden, the dude that was standing in front of Ariel was gone. He just disappeared.
So Dustin's like right behind me, and at that point, he kind of already knew things were going to escalate to where it was honestly going to end up in a fist fight.
Yeah,
and like I said, these dudes showed up in two different cars, beat up Honda Civics. But they showed up in like 2 cars, like five deep in each car, so it was like 10 guys, and then plus they're the 11th guy, which is their bass player. But it's like pretty much 5 of us, and crappy part is it's like my nephew's there watching, this and that just to support. And then we got like Megan, and
we had Taylor, we had like
some of the girls. Carla was there.
No, Carla wasn't there, but Taylor is a girl, not the guy.
And then so we're all standing there. All of a sudden, it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, this is probably going to turn out bad. And literally the minute I look. I don't even think I said anything, but Dustin kind of already knew something was going to happen, and realistically, Dustin's the one that pushed that to happen, which is I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah,
and this guy goes like from the front of the group to
just
like
on the ground
all the way
else.
at the like, I don't even know. I think he disappeared. He ended up probably just teleporting.
It looked like a blip in time. Like
he was gone.
A blip.
He teleported to another world.
I literally.
He did like that thing, the Doctor Strange thing, and then he was gone. But Dustin pushes this guy, and then so all of a sudden we're all just like squabbling with these dudes, and I mean like it's like I'm on the side just like just racking, like I don't even care. I was hitting whichever one of these kids I could hit, and let this be known. There's 5 of us. But realistically, that whole venue was behind us.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there's people, like, behind them. There's people, like, over there by, like, where the band's setting up. And as sad as it is to say, they end up getting jumped by the whole venue because of the decision you made. That was the consequence you get.
Yeah.
You mess with the hometown band, you idiot. And it's like, and the thing is, we're cool with everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
All those people that were there to see us were like, no, we have your back. You know what I'm saying? Like every one of those dudes, like they messed with Gabe. Gabe was working those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Gabe was a kind of a scary guy.
Yeah, Gabe was like
Even
just,
Eric was cool. Eric started swinging on all of those dudes.
dude, yeah, I remember like,
And I think Gabe stabbed himself.
Gage.
Oh, Gage stabbed himself.
I almost said Gabe too.
Yeah, I think he stabbed himself with his little knife because he fell on it.
Oh,
But,
yeah, that's right.
So I'm literally the way I remember it is I was beating the shit out of these guys. You know, like it was one by one. It was just like a you know, clock. You know, a bunch of these guys are just like ding ding ding, kind of like falling. And I see this one guy getting ready to punch Dustin, and I was like, "Oh, you gonna hit him? Oh, you gonna hit him?" And he puts his hands up like this, and he's like, and I was like, yeah. And I remember I rocked his world, and he like falls back, and I just start beating the crap out of him. The sad part is, I'm beating him up in front of Ryan, in front of the bass player.
Oh, yeah.
Literally saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm stomping on him with my boots.
Yeah, and those were like yeah,
on
I
his
remember those
face.
boots too.
Yeah, they're right here.
Oh, you still have them?
I still got those are dime a dozen.
Those are gems,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Gotta frame them.
I did not. This is the one thing. The minute you cross a certain path with me, or like, you know, you kind of cross that line, it's all loose. I don't care. I will do whatever it takes to show you that was the wrong choice you just made. And for those guys to honestly be in that position where they're like, "Oh, well, we're about to rock these freaking Temecula's guys' worlds." I'm like, "No, I get it. This is where I live, but that's not how I act."
Yo, yeah.
I will treat you with respect, but just so you know, if you don't give me respect, I'm not going to give it back to you. Who cares?
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
They were just like some dudes from like San Diego, like some small time bullshit crap. But they like, it's one of those things like, you know, it's funny because it always refer it back to like, what was it called? Boston Beatdown.
Yeah.
It's the saying where he goes, "It's not where you're from, it's where you're at."
Oh, 100%.
And it's just like, dude, they literally did not understand where they were at. Like, we like literally like,
Yeah.
that stuff was like hoisted on our back.
I don't
Like
know if you
like
think
everyone like loved us.
Yeah. I don't know if you think that this changes anything, crew or not. I'm gonna fight.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
They were like, yeah, because like there's a bunch of crews like all like even in the hardcore scene, there's like crews like up the yin yang like that you're supposed to be scared of, like, and all that stuff because they roll in big numbers. Like, I mean, think about it. FSU was on Gangland. That's probably the only one.
No, DMS.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think DMS was
DMS
on
is DMS is for sure known. I don't know if it's called. Is it dirt? I don't know. But
it's something. I don't know.
It's something. But they're blue and black. But yeah, like those are the two. Those are the two women.
I would say those are like the most well.
Those are the dominant ones. Like, and that's the only ones I could think of, except for whatever some of the we know other.
There's like smaller
groups.
time crews,
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But yeah, it was like I said, it boils back to like where we were like, we stand up for whatever we believe in. We never ask for anybody to have our backs. We never asked to be a part of a crew. People have asked like, "Hey, do you want to roll with us?" Nah, we're fine.
Oh,
we're gonna make it on our own. If we're gonna do it, we don't need. Well, you know what? I didn't. Well, anyways, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. We never like asked anything from anybody. Like as far as like a group of friends or just even as the band, we never asked for anything. It's just that we gave, like Ariel was saying, is we gave respect to everybody as long as you give it to us back. Otherwise, we're all peachy people. But yeah, the moment that you like kind of push the envelope to where you're trying to get a reaction out of us,
100%.
then you're going to get it.
You cross it.
Yeah, then you're going to get
cross
it.
it for any single one of us. It was like okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Now we're like, okay, you know what? We can play this out one or two ways. And let's just go the way that's going to be the easiest to where this is not going to end in bad for you or whatever.
Yeah. But like I mean, for those guys, honestly, it ended up bad anyways cuz like I said, I was pretty much beating the crap out of this kid. I guess he was 18, and at the time I'm like 26 or 27, stomping on his face with like my boots. And
I was the one who actually stopped you.
Oh, 100%. You stopped me, and this guy grabs me from the same crew, and he's like, "Hey, man, you good? You good? You good?" And he's literally holding me like this, and as soon as he swings, right, he's like, this is point blank.
Like you should
That
have
dude's
the
a buster and he
best
missed.
shot. You should have the most clear
Yeah,
shot.
he's hugging me. Literally goes to swing on me, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Shoots he shoots a shot and he goes like this. That dude that tried to punch me, you're a bum. You don't even know how to throw a hit, but good for you because you're an idiot.
You probably punched your own ear.
Yeah, and literally right after that, I'm freaking. I think I tackled that dude, and I think that was pretty much when I was getting pulled off of him.
Which one?
The dude that tried to punch me. Because then I noticed that he was obviously.
Oh no!
He was a double crosser. So loser.
The guy that you were murking on like with your boots and stuff. The guy that I pulled you off of, he was the one I picked up and I threw him. I threw him out.
Yeah, but he tried to.
But then the other while I was doing that, the other guy pulled you, tried to swing on you. He missed because when you went backwards. But by the time I turned around, he was trying to drag you by your hood, and he sat you down on the stage. And then when I turned around, I saw him doing that, so I ran towards him, and he went behind our amp because our amps. Remember that our stuff was backlined.
Yeah.
So he swung, did that, pulled you, and then he ran behind the amp. And then I saw that, and I thought he was just going to bail. So I remember helping you up. I put my hand out, and that's when he punched me. And he had to have something in his hand because remember, as soon as he made contact, he split my cheek. And I was just like, and I look at him, I was like, "You're dead." Sorry, you're ever dead. And then that's when we chased him out of the venue because you got up. As soon as he hit me.
Yeah, no, I remember, because one of the guys was like, come on, come fight me outside.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was that dude, it was, I don't know, the president or whatever that dude's name was, and the dude comes out, and all of a sudden he's like, come on, you want to freaking fight me, dude? And I was like, you're freaking whack as hell. This dude pulls out a freaking, like a drywall knife.
It's like, yeah.
They're long. They're really long, and they're super jagged. That's how, Now, obviously working on my house, and that's how you figure it out. But, I was like, what the heck? I was like, what kind of knife is that? And the dude's like, what's up? Come on, square up. And I'm like, just standing there like.
Now, are you?
At the same time, I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, my nephew's right here. Like, if I get stabbed and die right in front of him, that's going to be a horrible. Like, I don't want him to see that.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
Malachi was there, and I don't want anyone to see, like, that stupid, tragic bull, BS, whatever. And that's why I had to think logically. I was like, is it worth it for me to keep fighting these guys that obviously can't even take the hits? Mm-hmm. Like, they couldn't even deal with the punches, couldn't roll with the punches, yet you came to a hardcore show, and you just got your asses whooped.
Yeah.
By freaking 5 older dudes that are, like, dying.
Just like on the verge of death.
But that's what I found so, like, honestly, that's a big piece of why hardcore became so soft was because so many people just were like, oh no, like, you know what, like, no, like, we should never let that happen to us. I'm like, yo, you came to a show.
Yeah.
This is when you were supposed to be like they were supposed to be like unity, because we all have some type of
connection
in the music. But I think this thing where people became like they're like, oh, you know what? Like, hardcore is more of like it was weird. Like, they try to run a gang in hardcore music. I'm like, there's no gangs in this.
Well,
realistically,
think about it. If they actually like took that to the streets, even like Temecula doesn't really have gangs.
100% no.
And even if you claim a gang in this area, you're a straight up bum, dude. Like, that's the
Southwest French Valley or whatever. Like, yeah.
And it was like Old Town 13 and all that stuff. It's like, dude, no, you're in no territory to be trying to like gangbang on people. But like, they would never pull that in like San Diego or LA. Like, there's no way like your 0206 Blitz crap would ever survive a day against like anybody in those actual territories, because I don't know where you guys were from. Like,
they're from like San Diego.
Yeah, I know you were from San Diego, but like, I mean, there's so many cities. Like Chula. They would get murked out there if they actually were representing. By real gang members. Yeah, they would. If they were representing that stuff, they would be killed so quick. It'd be insane.
Yeah, I think they literally got ran out by the dudes in Take Offense, because I believe they were actually in a real crew.
Oh yeah, yeah. In To, like I mean, they were in Chula. Yeah, they're actually in Chula Vista.
I believe they got ran out
dude.
because they were like, "Oh, no,
That's
you don't
right.
run that."
I think I could be thinking that, but I'm pretty sure I remember something about that happening. And
They got banned from shows because of that whole thing. Like they were trying to like beat up kids and
didn't they? Yeah, they did it at a To show, didn't they?
yeah, and then
Oh,
literally
my God.
the take offense dudes like beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, To's like OG. Like if
And
you're
I
from
don't even
Chula
think-
Vista and
yeah,
you don't
I
know
even
To,
think-
then you're
Yeah.
missing
I don't even
out.
think realistically he considers like that band considers himself like any type of gang, but I think there was just such a big unity between the friends.
Dude, they're like older dudes. They grew up probably when Chula Vista was bad.
Yeah.
Chula Vista used to be super bad back in the day. Now it's like a little bit more, what's the word, gentrificated or whatever they want to call it. But it used to be super bad back in the day.
Yeah. But realistically, that's probably all we got for tonight. It's getting kind of late. Ollie's got to wake up early as hell.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would keep going. We got some other topics we
like
got
I
to talk
said,
about.
I think we're gonna just continue off with these rants. I don't actually no. I said that on the last podcast. Okay, what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna continue with these random rants that we have, and we'll probably just have like random guests throughout the week or throughout these episodes, just to bring people in, just for the hell of it. Honestly.
Just see different points of views of things like that. I mean, that might like maybe someone sees contradictory to what we see or like
100%.
whatever, you know.
Yeah. Which
We're-
is totally
we're
fine.
welcome to everybody.
If you have an argument against us, to me, I'm not going to say it's an argument. I'm going to say it's like let's have a debate
yeah.
about it. And honestly, I'm not saying that nobody can change my mind on the way I see things, but I'm just going to say it's pretty hard to change my mind. Look
Yeah,
at me.
32 years in the making, and yeah.
Look at me. Now look at you. That's why you'll never be one of us. That's why I don't look
like this, and you look.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
why you look like this and we look like that. Yeah, that's why we look like this and you look like that.
But,
It's an old
yeah.
inside joke, but
But maybe we'll just do like filler things. Like if we don't have like a guest, then we could just do something like a little bit.
we'll just go
shorter.
back onto saying
Yeah.
ranting.
Yeah, we'll just.
Sometimes
yeah,
people
so-
just want to hear rants.
If you guys want to hear more banters and all this stuff, like then let us know.
If you want to hear more about the fights in the hardcore scene and like all the little fights that I got into, like I got beat up by this chick. Not beat up, but she was swinging on me. You know, luckily I'm not like I'm actually respectful and I didn't punch her. I don't care what you say.
Mama,
I don't
raised them
care
right.
if you write like, "Oh, well, you're not supposed to punch her." I don't know. She was fighting me like she was a dude.
He's like, "Do you want me to hold the door open for you, or do you want me to peg you?"
Yeah,
I don't know
was
what you
like,
want from
yo,
me.
you're punching me like you have intent for me to die, and I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna be real with you.
And you know what's funny is like, I mean, at least like it won't get copyrighted or like you won't get flagged for it. Is you should tell the story and we'll play the song like
100%.
just at the part like where it
No,
was happening.
I think if you play like a certain amount of,
It's like
time
15
of music,
seconds, I
something
think.
like that.
Yeah, 15
I would have equalized her. Let's be realistic.
he only
would've
needs like
flatlined her.
he only needs like literally like 2 seconds of the song, so it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Just like to go along with like the whole background of the story.
Honestly, she would have became a dead fish, and I'm not saying that because she's Asian, but because she would have became a dead fish.
I mean, you could kind of say that because you are Asian.
Yeah, I don't care. All right. Well, thank you guys if you guys did tune in and
Appreciate you.
subscribe, comment, like, do whatever it is. I really don't know what to say at the end of these podcasts.
But it's been real.
Yeah.
I was like, peace.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Also, too, tell us how the mic quality is.
Yeah, let me know if I'm too close.
Say if it's
to
good. Say if it's
anything.
not good. Say if it's trash.
Getting mixed reviews here.
Yeah. Also, too, I think the next podcast will be my brother and Malachi. If it's not going to be those two, it's actually going to be a bunch of just a bunch of the guys, probably a couple of the guys from the gym.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Just-
like we talked about Bobby earlier. He actually wants to do it too. So
Yeah, just kind of shooting the shit. And hope to see you guys next time. Peace.
me.
And I'm like, boop, 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 boop.